All right. Hey, Moustachios, what's up? We're back here. So it's 5:30. That means we're scheduled for the late night hang here at Moustache Audio. It's not that late, and it's not really night, but we're gonna hang out. So
yeah.
I got one of our featured artists here.
One of our Moustachios.
One of our Moustachios.
Beard stachios.
Yeah, he's a beard stachio. But this is Blake. He's one of my good friends, and yeah, he has a couple of our pedals that he's been using. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Blake.
Yeah, so I am a longtime guitarist, guitar enthusiast, lover of guitars, all that kind of fun stuff.
Do you play guitar?
I play guitar.
Okay.
I'm a worship pastor at a church, so I primarily play worship music. I love playing blues and stuff as well. And so Robbie and I connected, and he showed me about his really cool pedals. We had a local friendship and everything, and he's like, "Hey, I built some cool pedals," and I was like, "Well, I really like pedals," and he's like, "Cool, you should try mine." I was like, "Sure."
And I was like, "They're pretty cool."
Yeah. And that's how that relationship blossomed, and it was great.
Yeah.
Robbie had longer hair back then.
I did. No, I was as we said, it was 1970s rock star Jesus was the look.
Yep.
You know, it was just
That's really what connected us.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know, he thought it was the second coming of Christ. It just turned out to be me.
Not quite.
You know? He was quite disappointed, let me tell you. But no, I had hair down to my shoulders. It was a good time, but you know, we've been hanging out for almost 2 years now. Probably,
long time.
Yeah, it's been a good long time.
So I got to see like the evolution of some of these pedals come along and stuff, and particularly the Chevron, which is really cool. I got to have some really cool input on that.
Yeah.
And so loving where it's at now, and one of my favorite pedals actually right now from you is the Razor Boost.
Right.
I use it a lot.
Yeah.
And it sounds killer. Like
same.
it replaced my most recent boost.
Okay.
I don't know if you're supposed to shame other pedals on here, but
I'm not doing the shaming, man. So.
Yeah, no, I love Vertex effects. Like they do great.
Right.
But I had the Vertex Boost. It was really awesome. But I just wanted to try something different, and so Robbie came out with the Razor, and it was a very easy decision for me just to switch over to the Razor. I love. It can be super transparent. It can be kind of gritty. It can be kind of all sorts of tone shaping
nasty
things.
Fuzz with it.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Really nasty.
Yeah. when you say spitty, like I mean like not just like it's it's like an aggressive like I hate you like kind of like spitting at somebody's mother.
Right.
You know, kind of spit. It's pretty gnarly.
I think it's a bit like that. Last case scenario, studio. You don't know what else to put on a track.
Right, you're just like...
And all of a sudden you come across that and you're like, that was it.
Yeah.
That was the sound.
It's pretty cool. I mean, you know, and it's just like... I don't know, like, I like putting it into that, like, crazy fuzz territory, running into an overdrive pedal, like the Chevron, because then, like, it just turns my overdrive into, like, a weird fuzz type thing anyway. Right. So it's just, like, if you want to have, like, a crazy, like, just crush solo, then just... Bam! Right there.
Oh, it's awesome.
So.
I've been using it after my second stage drive, and it's just been really cool. It like makes that second stage drive just like sing. Mm-hmm. It boosts it out there, adds just a little bit more gain, and really like some really tight definition to it. But it doesn't like compress it to the point where it's like unmanageable.
Sure.
That's a weird way to phrase it. It doesn't compress it to where it's like not lively anymore. Yeah. It's still very much lively, and I love that about the Razor. So
what settings do you use on it?
That's a great question. I'm a set it and forget it kind of guy.
Sure.
So I think I kind of forgot it.
Because
I said it.
Fair enough. So I mean, we got. You probably don't put the lather on. I'm guessing.
No. It's pretty clean. It's just on the brink of like dirty.
Okay, so probably somewhere up in the middle here, and then probably maybe a little boost. Do you have it on the full frequency boost, or do you have it on the treble boost?
Full frequency. Yep.
So here, just give us some clean tone real quick. So we're running.
This is a Gibson.
Bigsby.
A little bit of Bigsby.
Little wiggle wiggle.
Yeah. There you go.
So here, let's throw on the razor here.
Dig into that just a little bit, just even on the setting it's at right now, and just like starts to like, it's like,
yeah,
it's good. It's like it's still clean, but man, you can.
Man, I don't even have one of those. That's not fair. But that's, I hate to say amp-like, but it does have a very like edge of breakup kind of like, you know, it's not like an overdrive pedal that you turn it on and everything's just really creamy and smooth kind of breakup. It is like a kind of breakup that you got to work for.
No, and that's the thing. My biggest thing about boosts is like a lot of them, they just get kind of, I don't know, they focus on like one frequency and boost that, or it just kind of sounds like thin, or it'll do a different thing where it like completely masks the tone of what you're playing through already. And that's, for me, that's not what I want in a boost. I want a boost that's going to sound transparent. It can get nasty if I want it to. Right. But like I want it to work with what I've already got going. And this does it really well. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Razor. Yeah, it's sweet, man. I mean, it does so much. Like, I found that in some of my amps, so like this amp that we're playing through right now, the bass is at like 3, because it was originally designed as a bass amp, so it's just got so much low end on tap. Well, yeah, when you put a humbuckers through that, it's even more. It can be a lot, and the same thing. So I like to gig a lot with solid state amps, just because a lot of my tube amps are vintage, except for my AC15 over there. And so it's just like one of the amps that I use at my church gig that I leave there is a Yamaha G100 212 Series 2. So it's designed by Riviera. It's one of the better solid state amps out there from the 80s and stuff. Really sweet amp, great for like jazz stuff. But it's got a lot of low end on tap. A lot of those with the active EQs, they have a lot of low end. So when I feel like when sometimes I bring my Strat or my Tele or even my Supra with the gold foils, and I play a single coil guitar into it, sounds great. And then when I go to play my 339 or my Les Paul, it's just there's so much low end from these really really meaty pickups that sometimes they can get muddy. So like on this guy, there's a lot of low end there, and so sometimes it just gets lost. So a lot of times I will use this just the treble boost to just help clean it up a little bit. Yeah. So well, and I can see some points where I would use a treble boost if I was like I love playing some when I'm doing some ethereal stuff. I'll roll back my tone knob to get it kind of dark sounding, but sometimes it's so dark and so murky that like you don't hear any of the definition of that. Do you use the neck or the bridge pickup for that? It depends on what part I'm in. Because a lot of times tone issues, it's tone differences. It's all. I found that a lot of times when I'm doing something like this, like I'll just turn up this decay and level on here. If I'm gonna do like a swell kind of thing, then let's see if it's gonna. Oh, your guitar was set up. I'll use that bridge pickup because if I do that with the neck pickup, throaty and thick, but you can get that. I don't have the church guitar's weapon of choice with me, the volume pedal, but and I'm not very skilled at doing all the fancy finger work over here, but just having that versus that really muddy, it just changes a lot when you're trying to do some more of that ethereal stuff, and there's so much reverb and so much delay going on, you can't really afford to have that super thick sound. Right. Well, even sometimes I'll do like a delayed rhythmic part with it, And again, you want it to stand out, you want it to be focused, but rolling off that tone knob, you get just so many more tone options,
right?
And kind of create creative spots to be in the song, in the feel, in the moment, and stuff like that. So I love doing that, but I don't like getting lost. I want the part to be present, and to suit it well and stuff like that. And so like I was saying, if you're trying to do some line like that and then your tones rolled all the way down, without having like a treble boost like that's a super useful tool for that.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times people think, when you're talking about treble boost, they think that you're actually boosting the treble, but really we're not boosting the treble per se. How the treble booster works is we're actually just cutting out bass. So like the original treble booster that everybody used for like the Brian May sound and stuff was
the Rangemaster.
Rangemaster, yeah. And the Rangemaster, all it does is it's just the same thing as a linear power booster. So the LPB1 by Electro Harmonics, basically the same thing. However, the Rangemaster uses a germanium transistor, but it uses a bandwidth limiter. So that input capacitor is really small. And so with capacitors, they're all frequency related, so they can't it won't let certain frequencies under a certain point pass through, and so basically it would just cut off all of the low end of your sound, and so some of it would still come through because it's a very smooth roll off. But what's happening is you're just cutting out all of that low end and then amplifying it, so the net result is a treble boost.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, but it's not like finding a treble frequency and boosting it, like people would think. So it's different. But that's basically what this is, kind of based off of, is in its simplest terms is a buffered Rangemaster, if we want to just call it what it is.
This is why you make pedals and I don't.
Yeah. Because I'm nerdy and I can't play guitar very well. He can play guitar well.
So don't get Robbie wrong. He can hang.
I can play, but not. There's people. You like I find myself that I can play with people.
Yeah.
Better than I play alone. A lot of times you play, like you were playing that thing earlier, and I was like, wow, that sounds really nice and full, but it's like by yourself, And so there's people that like they could just play, and it's like, wow, that sounds so full. And then there's people that's like, yeah, they could play, but like it sounds always better when they play with the other people. I'm that guy. So, I rely heavily on a great rhythm section.
So does that mean I played, in a room by myself, all by myself?
Maybe, possibly.
And I had to figure out how to cover a lot of space.
Right, yeah, that's probably what it was. I was just like, I've been rocking the minor pentatonic for like 13 years, so it's
I still, it's a great, it just works.
Yeah. So cool. So that's what we've been looking at, is the Razor right here. We were talking about some of the crazier fuzz tones. Did we go through those at all?
Not really, okay. Not yet.
Yeah, so let's do some crazy fuzz. So to get the fuzz, basically we could do it with a treble boost or with a full frequency boost, but you're just gonna turn the gain up, which we'd already get a little bit of drive. So this is. So you get some drive there, but let's go ahead and turn up the lather.
I'm a weird guy. I like using my middle position a lot. It's kind of weird sometimes.
I feel like the middle position like sometimes gives you a little bit of like a stratty kind of tone, and it's kind of like the secret. Yeah.
Like quacky. Like that, really cool. That'll cut.
Right. And so that was actually on the treble boost. So that's why it's so quacky. So you're getting a lot of that mid range. Yep. So if we wanted to like brutally pummel this thing, let's go ahead and turn it on to a full frequency boost, which is going to add gain because we got all that extra bass. So we'll try it. sounds great.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I can imagine like sitting in a blues gig, and that would just feel really cool. It's almost got like a trumpety kind of spit to it. That's really fun. Like that, like nasty. It's getting into that nasty, spitty area, but because it's not like completely overblown by gain, it's very musical still. It's gonna sit really well.
Right, and so I mean the amp we're playing into right now is so clean it hurts. I can't get that thing to distort unless I gang both channels together, turn everything up to 11, and hope my ears don't bleed. Like that's how it's gonna work. So for like this in front of maybe something like a Marshall that's on the edge of breakup, or your Mason amps, or like a Vox or something like that, it could be a really cool sound to be able to get some of this like fuzz that's not so heavy, but just has that spitty quality, and then using that to drive your amp's own gain to just like add some crazy sag to it.
Right, and not to do a complete plug for Mason amps, but Mason Amplifiers is a company that's the Mark Mason makes the custom amplifiers for me. He's a brilliant amp builder out of Michigan. Yeah, and he's done some really cool stuff. So actually pairing Robbie's stuff with Mason Amplifiers, it's just tonally it's worked for me really, really well. Yeah. I love it. So, and yeah, exactly right. Like just pushes it over the edge and pairs with
be true to the sound. So that'll clean up when you lower times, but then you can
oh yeah.
That's just obnoxious.
That's nasty.
Yeah. Like that's awesome. If you're just sitting there playing some, you're not gonna show up to a blues gig and play that. Like that's lame. I mean, throw it on the treble boost and then that hurts my ears like it's Albert King playing or something. Like
I think Buddy Guy a little bit.
Yeah, something like that. Like some stereotypically bad blues tone. But like so bad it's good. But that's just, this will be enough for if you're, jamming along. That's what you want. But that's it.
See, he's good.
Not that good. But yeah, man, so it's not just a boost.
When you almost when you hit that, it almost sounded like it was into like punk rock. I'm thinking like old like grunge punk rock kind of like territory.
Okay.
So almost some like Savage Garden stuff.
Okay.
Am I saying the right? Soundgarden.
Okay.
Not
yeah.
Savage Garden.
Savage Garden.
That's
yeah, that one.
Too many gardens.
I don't know if you're trying to like take me to a rock concert or serenade me to sleep, but
yeah,
hilarious.
I have a history of taking people to concerts I thought were but weren't.
Oh no! What would be the worst combination of that?
Well, so I bought tickets to what I thought was a Owl City concert, which ended up being an AWOL Nation concert. I'm not dyslexic, but it was close.
Wow.
AWOL Nation, a wall, owl.
It's almost as if somebody read you it all, like one letter at a time.
It was for my wife, and it was to surprise her. And she was really excited to see Owl City, and she laughed really hard when she found out that it was not Owl City, and I felt really bad because apparently she knows all the Owl City songs.
Wow.
But she still married me after that. So,
yeah. Well, that's good. You didn't ruin it completely,
Yeah,
but were there butterflies at the AWOL Nation concert?
We didn't stay. Nothing against AWOL Nation, but we just kind of left after a while. It was a long
hilarious.
Day.
No, that's a great story. I mean,
it was.
I wish I had people to take to concerts. Well, I mean, I have somebody now, but I've gone to so many concerts by myself. I actually missed out on a lot of concerts for not going.
Can we hold a moment of silence for concerts right now?
Yeah, man.
Moment
of silence.
Yeah. but a quick moment because
we got some pedals to look at.
But yeah, kudos to all you guys out there like hurting for like gigs and stuff like total kudos to you. I hope you guys are making it. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you guys get back into shows quickly and soon with your new Moustache audio pedals and everything. And but seriously, like
it's been rough. I mean, I've had to transfer a lot of my gigs from, just.
I do guitar work for people, and that has slowed down significantly.
Yeah,
because people aren't playing. Like I do, all kinds of like guitar jobs and stuff like that. And when people aren't playing the guitars, they don't really need it done.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my church gig, which is great, because that's very consistent. But there's like a lot of the churches, like I haven't had any like bar gigs or anything like that to play, and so I've actually transferred a lot of my stuff into video editing. So I actually do a lot of video editing for the local churches who are doing their live streams and stuff like that, and so doing like recording stuff because I've got studio gear, and so I'll just go record them doing their stuff, and then we do it that way. But it's just we've had to really kind of change around the way we do things in 2020. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So kudos to you guys. Keep going. Keep going strong. Excited to see you guys on the road again soon.
Absolutely. Well, we already got the Razor up here. Let's or not the Razor, the Chevron. Let's go through some stuff on the Chevron.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about the Chevron?
I like that it's a tube screamer with a lot of tone options. I think that's one of my number one bummers about tube screamers most oftentimes is that just the limited amount of options. And it's not that, again, I'm a set it and forget it kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I love having billions of options to sort through. In fact, a lot of times that can be frustrating, but this isn't too many that it makes me frustrated or anything.
Right.
It's pretty simple, and it's featured. It's got a 3-band EQ. You've got pre or post gain. You got some different clipping options. You got your gain and level. But a lot of tube screamers are just 3 little knobs, hit it, quit it, and you have to deal with the tonality of it. And if you don't like it, well, you get a different tube screamer
or a different amp.
Well, please no. I will way buy a new pedal before I buy a new amplifier if I like my amplifier. That is not the option.
I am dead bent. I'm hell bent on using this tube screamer. I will buy another $2,000 amp if it kills me.
No.
It's a good excuse to buy another amp.
No, it's not. Well, you guys are probably disagreeing with me online because you're like, oh yeah, more amplifiers. I like just playing. I like being able to set something and play it.
Sure.
But yeah, this is really cool. I like the tone options. I like that I can take some of the mids out of it. I like that it's got this is version 1, 2
or 1.13 or something.
1.3.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what you did through the bass circuit is actually really awesome on this. It's a lot tighter, and it feels really good. It sits really well in a mix. It feels really good. Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's got some really killer stuff to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I know you're a set and forget kind of guy. Did you forget how you have this one set up?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
But I pretty much run it kind of like a first stage overdrive, so drive's not super killer or anything. It's not
So I'm gonna guess probably right around here. Do you add or do you remove some mids?
I usually boost mids a lot.
Boost mids? Okay.
Even right there, it's great.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and hopefully we're not going to copyright issues right now.
Come at me. John Mayer, I'm sorry.
That's only because I really like your music.
It's free advertisement. You should thank me. Actually, pun with the clipping options. What are your thoughts on the symmetrical clipping?
I believe I like even.
Okay.
More.
Interesting. Yeah. So right now we're on odd, and that's the asymmetrical clipping, and even's more like the regular tube screamer, which has the symmetrical clipping.
You have to forgive me. Which one is the one that sounds a little bit more open?
Well, let's find out.
Hey, that sounds great.
So right now we're on odd. Let's go ahead and switch it to even.
So this is a little bit more compressed feeling, and all that kind of stuff. Man, they're really both usable, and like that. You have to excuse me. So the odd one was actually, it felt a little bit more open, felt a little bit more raw sounding,
right?
And like in a low gain setting or low gain feel, when I'm trying to just create a mood. Like, can we hit it back to you? Yeah, like I'm just trying to create. Where I don't want something, I don't want it like heavy. I don't want it like super tight or anything. I want it to sound open. I want it to sound airy. Like that's a really good feel for that.
Right. And then let's do the same thing, but with the even to see. It has more of a
tighter, like it's a little bit more of a compressed feel to it.
Sure. It maybe even a more even drive. It's not like so everything's more evenly.
Yeah, definitely usable again in this context, but I like, as much as I like setting forget, I also like having the option in any given moment to flip to something and like I'm always adjusting my volume pots. It's because I always like that option to make it feel like in a certain moment. I don't want to always be like punching, you know, especially with worship music like I do a lot. Like I really like to be able to go from open to like driving, so I do a lot of that with pick technique and my volume knobs on my guitar. So yeah, the odd sounds really good for that. The even, like that, I can immediately, if I wanted to really start driving something, like that, just it sounds really tight,
right,
all together, and that's gonna sit really well in a mix where I'm like, you know, we're driving really hard in something like. It sounds good. It sounds even. I can hear all the notes very clearly, evenly. And then, yeah, let's do that. And that one's a little bit more open, sounding less compressed.
Right.
And
a little bit more dynamics.
Yeah.
Range in there, you know, a little bit.
So
louder.
I could hear a little bit less of the notes. So, and that leads me to the idea of less compression.
Right.
And stuff like that. So.
Yeah, kind of like if you want like a dynamic, like blues kind of, you know, you might want to have that more organic kind of odd, you know, setting, which is the asymmetrical clipping. But if you want to have like a nice rhythm guitar that you just want to, you know, pin into a mix, the even might be a better setting. So,
right. Yeah.
So it's just a subtle thing that really, if it wasn't there, you wouldn't know the difference. But like having that option is pretty cool.
Right. I mean, this drive could easily sit into like a first stage, second stage, either or kind of feel.
Yeah, because I mean we've got quite a bit of gain on tap. Like I mean, right now we're only at like let's go ahead and throw that all the way up. Yeah, that'll cover like 85% of your bar gigs. You just put that in a Rat, and you've got 80s covers like on lock.
Church leads that I do in songs, you know, I'm covering a lot of different ranges and stuff. I like to be able to, like, when I get to a lead part, I want to be able to get out and be in that space that I'm supposed to be in, and that's the thought. It's like, what space are you supposed to be in right now? If you got a lead guitar solo, you want to be able to cut. You want to be able to hit it and hit it well and stuff like that, and that does it. I mean, like, that just sounds good. If I play guitar right.
Yeah.
That sounds killer.
Yeah.
Like super killer. That would cut through so well.
And, you know, the thing that's really nice is, like, I found with a lot of... Oh, there we go. I found with a lot of, like, you know, like, overdrive and drive pedals, like, a lot of them have, like, a sweet spot of they only sound good here. You know, my Marshall Blues Breaker is notoriously terrible for that because it has absolutely, like, you can fight me on this, it has one good setting. And that's the only good thing.
Your comment thread is about to blow up, by the way. From guys.
And literally, though, like
he dropped the mic right there.
I'm like, y'all are paying $400 for one freaking setting. Like, the heck? You know, it's crazy. But, like, I mean, even I watched that JHS pedal, you know, or a video where he brings out the Blues Breaker and the Klon of, like, his favorite overdrives and stuff. And I'm like, oh, he's going to bring out a Blues Breaker. I'm really excited to see what he does. Because, like, on my board, I have, you know, a Blues Breaker, a Klon, and my Chevron, you know. So, like, 2 Screamer, Blues Breaker, Klon. Like, 3 of the biggest, you know, overdrives. And I pull it out. I'm, like, so excited that he's going to, like, show me the new life hack for this pedal. He put it on the freaking same setting that I used. I was like, okay, I guess there is only one setting, you know. Like, who was I kidding?
It makes you think you should just get rid of the Pendenziators, put, like, some super glue in there,
well,
and just set it.
Honestly,
so
no, literally, for the longest time, I had, so there's, like, 3, you know, different, like, knobs on it. I actually had a zip tie that went around the top 2 and then up through the bottom one so that none of them would move. Like, and if they did move, they would all move together, and so I could just, like, you know, put it all back to where it, so it just, like, would never move from where it needed to be. And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could have super glued them down and never had to change them. And
I think you should. I'm kidding. Don't put super glue on your pedals.
Yeah, that's terrible.
From a builder standpoint, do you use super glue in your pedals?
Actually, my pedals are made entirely of super glue.
That's how you solder it together.
Yeah, that's no. There's not even electronics inside. It's just an entire box of super glue.
Like you epoxy lines and then pour super glue over top.
Yeah, it's kind of like a 3D printer, but just super glue.
Just glue.
Yeah,
that's
just
great.
Glue. It really glues your tone together.
Well,
though.
I mean, like, listen to that glue. Let's get some glue in there. Oh man, that glue is perfect. Sorry.
Yeah, the problem is I
accidentally
dropped it down in the mud, and that's why the glue got really dirty. That's why it's like a dirt pedal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's not even a dad yet.
I know. That's really bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we've got right now we've been boosting the mids in this thing. Let's show what it sounds like we got on the pre section, because it sounds a lot different on the pre versus post.
That changes. So walk us through that again. How does that exactly? Because set it, forget it.
Sure.
Yeah, I know it a little bit, but yeah. So walk me through it again.
So when I first had this idea for this pedal in about 2017, was because I had 2 overdrives. So I had my Blues Breaker and my SD1 that I was using, and I ended up using a graphic EQ pedal in between them because I I wanted a boost, but I also wanted to be able to change the frequency before or after a drive, and so that was like. I was really experimenting with that, and that was really helping me find my tone to be able to adjust, a pedal to, like I like the way this pedal breaks up, but I want to, kind of change the way that it interacts with my guitar, or I want to be able to change, like the overall tone of it, and that was just really frustrating because to turn it on, I had to step on 2 things instead of 1 thing, and so I really wanted to put that into a pedal where I could say like, hey, I want to put this EQ before or after a drive circuit. So that's what it does. So you can boost things into it and give it more gain on certain frequencies.
Oh, that's so cool.
Or you can adjust it afterwards and have more of a control over the overall sound. So for instance, like let's boost some bass and boost some mids, maybe take out some treble. Like this is a pretty drastic, sound. So if you were like, if I was gonna play this real quick, now. What is it? That's not how you play it, but that was what it was.
I think that's exactly how you play it. Dude,
yeah,
you're hired, bud.
Yeah. I don't learn very many songs. I'm sorry. So that's, you got that. But if we turn to the pre, it's not going to affect the overall tonality of it, but it's going to affect extremely how my guitar interacts with it. So it's gonna drive those bass frequencies and the mid frequencies a lot more. And since we're reducing the volume of a lot of the treble frequencies, it's not gonna, like our higher stuff is not gonna really be driven as hard. So it's just gonna kind of change the way that the harmonic content is being driven. So so we do the same thing. Oh gosh.
It's closer.
Yeah.
But no, that sounds completely different. Like the way that's hitting is so different and so cool. Like,
exactly.
And it's just like a completely different option again. And I like it.
Yeah, you don't realize how different it is. Yeah. So there's always going to be a little bit more high end because with distortion and you're generating harmonics.
I'm almost feeling some like thrash metal on that.
Yeah. Actually. That's pretty good. But you could do that with, but if you take this and we throw it back, that's two completely different sounds. So that's just kind of the power. And it can be more subtle with it. That's pretty drastic, but if you're just, doing even if you're just scooping out some stuff, and you want to have more of like an exaggerated, like stratty kind of tone, versus...
That sounds killer.
It just interacts different. You'll play... It just feels different when you play it.
That's so cool.
It's pretty sweet. So,
and I've been doing a lot more studio work lately, which has been a lot of fun. And I think one of the number one kind of challenges is, again, like what do you need to fit in that right spot? You know, and that has been a completely new challenge and stuff like that. It's something that works live. Generally, it's not necessarily going to work for me. In the studio kind of thing. And you have to have a totally different mindset, totally different thing. And some of these pedals that, again, are kind of limited, you're like, dang.
Well, your studio has 2 rooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you keep your guitar cabs in your like amp and cab in the live room?
Yeah. Yep.
How annoying is it to run out there and change the EQ on it?
Yeah.
It's pretty annoying, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even at church, like because we got ISO boxes for our amps, and anytime I do any kind of change whatsoever, I'm running 30 feet to go make a quick change, come back, try and listen to it again, like, no, that wasn't quite it.
Exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah, and that's...
So, but having the ability to change that on spot right there, and get a lot of different tone options, it's like that is super innovative. Like, really good job.
Thank you. And that's one of the reasons why I did it, and made it that way. Is because, one, I was a studio intern for a while, and I was the guy running to change the guitar amp sound. That was annoying. There was like 4 or 5 rooms in that studio.
Boy. Hey.
Yeah. It's like, change it and get me coffee.
Wait, how does changing it get you coffee? Okay.
but honestly, I'd have to every room had 2 doors. So because it was a proper recording studio.
Right.
So I'm opening.
Tell me about mic positioning and.
There you go. We're literally moving things centimeters, But there's some cool tricks though that I picked up, over the years of trying to get. Because if you're using it's really easy to mic a guitar cab if you got one mic. But if you got 2 mics, it can be tough because they have to be in phase. So I've got the preamp that I'm actually using is a modified by Revive Audio, but it's the Art Pro Digital MPA2, which is like, normally they're not like super expensive, $350 tube amps, but this one I spent a bunch of money to have it modified because the power transformer died on me, but they fixed it and modified it, and it sounds killer now. But my favorite thing about it is it has a phase flip button on it. So what you do is if you're gonna mic up two guitar cabs, or two guitar cabs, or even a single cab with two, like right now I'm using a 212. So I need a mic with two mics. So I basically, you flip the phase on one mic, and then you get them both to where each one, it sounds the way you want it. But then when they come up in mono together, you get it to where they sound the worst. So moving it further and closer until you basically get as little sound as possible and it sounds as bad as possible. Then you flip the phase and you get the most full sound. Yeah. And that's getting the phase coherency, which is really nice. But
remind me, I gotta tell you about this new miking. This is totally legit, and I think they're the most comes from the most creative innovators out there. But there's this actual miking stand now
that moves. It's a robot.
It's completely robotic.
Yeah,
and you can from the control room. God bless these people. From the control room, you can move the thing every which way. And my buddy who's got one for his studio, he was telling me about it, and he's like, "Man, I've found so many different miking positions now that I would have never guessed would have been good."
Can you save presets with it too?
Yes,
bro.
So it's worth it.
That's insane.
It's worth it.
Oh my god.
We should call it the Little Robbie.
The Little Robbie.
We just need to figure out how to make it get coffee.
Robbie the Runner. That's what it's called.
We just need to figure out how to make it get coffee.
Oh yeah.
Maybe put an espresso machine on it.
On it, yeah. You move the mic to the other side, and then it drops.
And then there's
a tea bag into
a long tube that feeds it back to the control room.
Goes to the percolator. Comes back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So pedals.
Yeah, pedals. I don't know where we started or where we went. Oh yeah. So that was one of the reasons that I wanted to make it like this.
Yeah.
Because, you're sitting in the studio. I do a lot of studio work. I've got a, recording studio here, and I write a lot of music, record some stuff for people. But it's just, really awesome to be able to just tweak it on your board and have it interact with your guitar, have it interact with your amp a different way, to be able to get that sound without having to go into the ISO booth all over and over again to try to, make your regular tube screamer work with your amp, because sometimes it's just not going to happen.
Right. No, this thing is super legit. I love it. I'm a big fan.
Sweet.
Get one.
Yeah, get one. So, so the only other thing we've got a couple minutes here. We got about 15 minutes.
We have two more things. Oh, and we should probably talk about the most exciting thing.
What's that?
The most exciting pedal you've come out with.
Are you talking about the freestyle?
The freestyle.
The freestyle is really a one-of-a-kind innovation, if you will.
I don't know if there's anything out there like this.
There really isn't. No, I think I'm the first person to ever come up with this idea.
You're getting more hate mail in the comments.
No, literally, it's just... this pedal... It's a freaking tap tempo, guys. It's nothing. It's cheap. It's $39. It probably cost me more to build it than it's gonna cost you to buy it. Honestly, I put in way too much work for what it's worth. Hand painted, hand stamped, all that good stuff. But it's switchable.
Well, let's talk about some of the cool things with it. All right. So one, it's got a mustache on it.
It's got a mustache,
which makes it look cool.
Looks cool.
It's got the audio written underneath the mustache.
Branding.
No, but so that is cool. It's
soft
gold.
Click switch.
It's gold. Soft click. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know that there's lots of other tap tempos that do it out there and stuff too. But for playing in churches, I can't tell you how awkward it is to be stepping on a pedal going ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
Right.
In a very quiet and intimate moment. People are holding their hands out, encountering Jesus in massive levels, and I'm over here stomping in the next song, ka-chunk, 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 literally taking people out of the moment.
Really, though, I mean, it's It's not too loud.
That's quiet.
It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, they can still sing fully engaged with Jesus, and I can tap in for the song I'm supposed to be in.
Exactly. So it's really nice, and then it's...
Tell me about the little switch on the back of it.
So the switch, not sure if you know, certain...
open and closed.
Open and closed, yeah. So not all delay pedals or, tap tremolo pedals, anything that uses tap tempo, they don't all use the same type. So Boss is basically the one that screwed everybody up. And so they use... Actually, I don't even remember.
But we really like Boss pedals. I mean, there's a Boss pedal right here.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why we have it.
Those guys are amazing.
Sometimes. But
they're innovators. They're really, really
Well, yeah, they
cool.
created half of the stuff that we play. I mean, we all talk about the Tube Screamer, but let's be honest, the Tube Screamer was invented by Boss because they came out with the OD1, which is the same inverting op-amp amplifier circuit with like the same, transistor, or not same transistor, same op-amp, and basically it's the same exact thing without a tone stack.
Robbie loves hate mail.
Y'all are playing the same 3 pedals out here, all right? And, like, mine aren't different. Like, they're all the same. No, mine are different.
We're gonna start a new email for you. Robbie loves hate mail at gmail.com. You need to start that today.
Honestly, but really, that's what it was. It's basic. It's the same circuit topology,
right,
if you will, and then they added a tone stack. So
yeah,
mine's about as different as the Tube Screamer is from that. This is as different from the Tube Screamer because it's got a different tone stack,
right?
Well,
so on this, it's a big frustration because I've had pedals that are open tap and closed tap, and then you buy a tap tempo for it, and you find out it's the wrong one, and then you got to do a special little thingamajig. You got to hold down the pedal while you plug it in or something like that, in order to make it one way or the other. And then I'm confused. I just want to plug in and play.
Right.
I just want to plug in and play.
Or it's just really awkward if you have the wrong one. Because what'll happen is it'll actually like trigger on the up tap, like when you let go. If you have it switched up, so it's like click, 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 and it's just so hard to do.
That's so confusing.
I've dealt with it before. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But
there's a little switch on the back. You can switch it open, closed, simple.
Yep.
Soft switch, freestyle, beautiful. Great job.
Great. Thank you. The only thing it doesn't work for is some of the crazier pedals by like Strymon, because Strymon uses like some wacky circuitry that makes it, that it has to run voltage through, all some technical stuff. But so it doesn't work with that. But they have special tap tempos out there that work for Strymon stuff. Yeah. This is for 90% of the pedals out there.
I mean, like for that, I use my RJM switcher, and so I'm able to set tempos in there, and it just automatically tells.
Yeah, he's fancy.
I get a little fancy. But again, I do it all so that I can just set it and forget it. Like, I just want to play.
Innovating out of sheer laziness.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, so it's not laziness. I just want to play. Like, I love pedals. I think they're really cool. But the reason I have the pedals is that I want them to sound a certain way so that I can play.
Absolutely.
And stuff. And so, with Strymon, I'm able to do the presets. I find a preset that I'm like, cool, awesome. I've got the Big Sky. I use 3 presets on the Big Sky. There's a ton of guys that would be like, that is dumb. But it works for me.
Was it the cloud setting?
I just recently started using the cloud setting. I mainly use a plate setting. Plate is like, it's just good. It fits in a lot of different categories. But I find one that I like, I set it, and I'm like, well, instead of buying 3 different reverb pedals, I can get it all in this one, do presets, it's fine. So that works for me. But we don't have a whole lot of time. We need to talk about this last pedal, which is actually the one I'm most excited about right now, the Walrus. And I just want to brag on the paint job and the aesthetics of this pedal. First of all, the knobs they're
massive.
They're freaking awesome. It's what you expect a fuzz pedal to be. I feel like if you ever see a fuzz pedal that looks like proper or non-gimmicky or something like that, it's not a true fuzz pedal.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to look a little gimmicky. It needs to look a little interesting, weird, or just different of some sort. Like, it has to.
It's like pink, man.
Yeah, I want a fuzz pedal that's just weird. It's pink, and it has a boxer on it. The typical boxer everyone's seen with a big walrus mustache on it. That's really awesome. The big giant knobs, pink pedal.
You know what those knobs are? Those are actually knobs from a Moog micro synth.
That's awesome.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, so if you ever want to own a Moog micro synth, you can own part of one if you buy a Walrus fuzz.
That's actually how it gets its synth tones.
There you go.
So if you want that nice fuzzy synth tone, you can just turn those knobs and you'll get it.
You smell that? It's getting smelly. So I love fuzz. It's something I'm wanting to grow into more. So I haven't got this pedal from you yet. I am most excited about this pedal right now. I love fuzz. There's so many blues players that I listen to and they get that awesome quacky fuzz sound and stuff, and you built that in this, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, so it's got the two most notorious fuzz controls. It's got level and fuzz. Y'all know what it does. More fuzz, less fuzz.
Simple. Set it, forget it. Love
exactly.
It.
So and it's also got an attitude. So we'll talk about the attitude in a second. But with this, here, let me get this camera working again. I don't know why I've been having issues, but so let's talk about the the fuzz first. So we've got, basically you can go from a lot of fuzz to a whole lot of fuzz. It's kind of, it doesn't do a little fuzz. So let's go all the way down. Let me give you some volume. That's a lot of fuzz.
That's a good amount of fuzz. It almost sounds like a really good distortion.
Yes. And that's, it's really tight in that setting, which is really cool. And that's what we'll get to the attitude in a second. So here's a whole lot of fuzz. So what the attitude does is it controls the internal bias of one of the transistors. And so it allows it to basically dial in the amount of sag and spit and grit and gate that you want in it. So basically, if you want something, like a lot of times when I'm playing rhythm stuff, I'll play it with the attitude all the way to the left because I don't want to have too much sag and things like that. We got a hello from Michael Hogan. Hey Michael, how you doing?
Yeah, good to see you, Michael. Thanks for chiming in.
But yeah, so I don't want it to sag too much. But if I'm playing a lead and I want it to have more of a spitty kind of saggy, just a dip in the sound, just kind of like that vintage vibe, then I'll turn up the attitude.
Yeah.
So,
which I think fits so well with your adjectives for describing tone. Spitty, saggy, which is weird.
It's just, it gives it a little grit,
I think JHS did an episode, kudos to JHS, they did an episode not too long ago on, how do you, naming our descriptive words for guitar tone and stuff, and it's so funny. And it makes sense. Spitty, saggy. What does that mean? And it's like you listen to it, you're like, I get it. That is sag. That is saggy. Yeah, it is. But yeah, so I've got it all the way up on the fuzz. It looks like my pedal board's a little out of the focus here. So let me go ahead and I'll start with just a little bit of some lead bends or something like that on with the attitude all the way down. Jump on the masa written all over.
Yeah, so that's some crazy, fuzz stuff. But then if we want to add some attitude, then you start getting into this more vintage type territory. And it starts to really implode on itself. You can take that even further if you'd like, and we can get some gated sounds of it, which is crazy. So turn up the level a little bit.
Almost sounds like it's got a tremolo, hard.
Yeah,
hard hitting on it and stuff like that.
Speaking of trumpety, as we were saying before, that's obnoxious.
Yep.
So that's really cool. That's two totally different. You're going from a really modern type fuzz over to a vintage, almost I would say even like fuzz face kind of like spitty tones.
Yep.
And you can get everything in between. So if you're more of a vintage fuzz guy, you can dial back that, or you can have it more high gain.
So cool.
Which is really cool. Now, what's really, really sweet is putting it into that kind of crazy fuzzy territory and then just blasting it with the razor. So we've already got it. I'll pull back the attitude just a little bit.
Yep.
Wild. And then that's pretty nasty.
I've heard that tone so many times.
Yeah.
So many recordings, so many records. I've heard that so many. It's awesome.
Crazy. Yeah, that's like I mean, even talking about blues guitars, that's pretty like Eric Gales-ish. Yep. He uses a lot of that really high gain fuzz that's just like completely crapping on itself.
What's that? Is that American Woman? Lenny Kravitz? I feel like that's solo from there, right?
Maybe.
Am I wrong? I might be wrong.
I don't know.
Don't send me hate mail. Just send it to him.
Send it to me. I'll forward it over. But like you get like like there's a. If I can remember how to play it. That's Eric Gales right there. That's one of his wrists, but I mean. That's massive.
That's so sweet.
That is huge.
Yep.
Another cool trick I like to pull is using the chevron as strictly an EQ.
Yep.
So when we have the chevron on, you can get it pretty clean. And so we can take it and put it into post mode so that when we do any EQ, it doesn't affect the dry. So we want to keep it as clean as possible. So we put it in post, and we can actually go through and boost the mids, take out a little treble, maybe boost the bass, but just make it a really mid-rangey kind of sound. Let's give it even more bass. Let's make this thing fat. Okay, so that sounds great. So if we're playing a lot of times with a lot of fuzz pedals, they are just naturally mid-scooped.
Yep.
That's just like the nature of them. So you get something like the Walrus here. That's like mid-scoop. We throw on the chevron. It completely awesome. Transforms
yep.
the way that works. It would completely transform it a different way if we were to put it before it. So
yeah, and not to be the typical sales guy or anything like that. But like, how cool is that? Two pedals put together, like tons of tone shaping options right there. Tons of different like creativity, options. Just like I think that the opportunities are kind of endless,
right? A
little bit. I mean, there's an end, but
right.
But still, like that was really really cool. Just putting those two together, or that and the razor together. Just so many different tonal options there.
Sure.
And how much time we got left on the thing?
It's actually about 5:30, so we gotta probably wrap it up here.
Yeah, but I think we should quickly go over the pricing. I mean, your pricing is extremely reasonable for all this stuff. So, like, walk me through that again.
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, I've got, speaking of which, we do have, if you saw, active till midnight tonight, we have a promo code that is active for 15% off all of our pedals. So, it's STOMP20. So, that's listed on the Effectopia page. And so, if you guys go over to shop that Moustache Audio, you can check that out, or click any of the products or pictures of like the pedals on the page, and it'll take you directly to the purchase link, so you guys can check out and get a good deal on those. So the chevron is normally $199. Awesome. So that's right around the price for boutique tube screamer type pedals, but this one has more features. So
which that means today you can get for $160, right? $159.
It takes I think $25 off.
Okay.
So it's 175. I think.
Percentages.
Yeah.
Sorry.
10% is 200 or 20, and then.
So that'd be $40 off.
Oh,
160.
40. I guess, yeah. So.
Math.
I don't know how to do math. I guess, man. All right. Well, yeah. So, there's that.
160 right now.
It'd be $30 off.
$199, right?
Yeah. So it's $200.
It'd be $40 off. So it'd be.
Wait, because 15% times 2, so it's $100.
You said 20%, right?
It's 15%.
Oh, my bad.
It's $30.
Yep.
But
we're
that's
all
right.
off.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to us. Just do the.
Neither of us know how to do math. But yeah, so it's $199. So you can get for $170 today. And then we've got the Walrus, which is usually $169. 15% off. I'll let you do the math this time. And then we've got the Razor, which is usually $149. So not bad, you know, especially for the Razor. People like
it's extremely reasonable.
Yeah.
I've seen boosts that do less go for way more.
How much did you pay for your Vertex boost?
I got a blem deal.
Okay.
On that one, so I got a really good deal on
how
that.
How much do they?
That regularly retails, I think, for $200, $219.
Okay, so
granted, it's a great circuit.
It is a great circuit, but it has one knob.
Yes.
Mine has 2 and 2 switches.
Yes, and I switched to the Razor.
More knobs equals more better.
No. Yeah, in this one case, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
But no, I switched to the Razor easily. I really liked it a lot. So I'm super impressed with it, and I have no intentions of it leaving the board. So
yeah. So you heard it here. Also, if you guys want a chance to win this very walrus that we've been using today, you can actually participate in our Movember giveaway. So we're trying to raise money to help fight prostate cancer and raise awareness for men's health. So if
that
you go
starts today.
Yeah, it starts today.
November starts today.
Yeah, I didn't shave because you don't want to see me without a beard. I don't want to be 12 again.
I look like a thumb.
A thumb, yeah.
Without a beard.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a little child with a face that looks like a thumb.
Nice. Like you know the movie Spy Kids,
or maybe a toe.
Do you remember Spy Kids from like the late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
The thumb people. There was villains that they were literally like shaped like hands with shirts on, and their heads were thumbs.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So is that what you looked like?
Maybe.
Probably. Look it up. You'll be mortified.
I know that I've been asked before if I'm able to drive, legally able to drive.
Nice.
After I shave. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
Thank God for beards.
Yeah, they really do it justice. But
so Movember.
Yeah, so Movember. Basically, what we're doing is you can check out the details for the giveaway either at our Instagram. We just posted about it. So that's Moustache Audio on Instagram or Facebook, or you can check out Pedal of the Day, who's also helping to sponsor it for us. Basically, we're doing for every $1 donated is one entry towards the giveaway. So cool, so we're just gonna give away a pedal, and we're gonna help try to give some money away for a good cause. So if you guys want to win a killer fuzz, then go over there and go donate some money. So if you donate $100, that's 100 entries. So the more the merrier.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna do that, and
if you donate $1 million, that's 1 million entries.
If you donate $1 million, you'll basically get the pedal.
What if you didn't? Would you give that person a pedal anyway?
If you donated $1 million and you didn't get the pedal, I would give you a pedal for free.
Let's
freestyle. It's not going to be a walrus. It's going to be a freestyle. But you're going to get a pedal.
Let's just say if you donate $1 million, you get all the pedals.
Yeah, okay. If you donate $1 million, you get all the pedals for free. Well, technically you get all the...
signed by Robbie.
They're all signed by me. Double sign on the inside. I'll double sign it.
We'll get a gold pen.
We'll get Blake to sign it.
I'll sign it too.
He'll sign it, and then it'll really be worth something. But so I mean that's all we really got. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. I'm sure this was a little bit more entertaining than sitting here and watching me. I don't think you would be.
No, thanks for having me out. This was a pleasure and an honor. Thanks for Yeah, thanks for just being cool and making really awesome pedals, and thanks for being innovative. Thanks for being true and just true to